I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis
and Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laakson.
I am Francisco Cerundolo,
and
you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Tonight we are enjoying, or today, or this morning, wherever you are in the world, we are watching the number one in the world, Daniil Medvedev, against the lefty from Canada, Denis SHAPOVALOV. Currently, SHAPOVALOV is serving first, and it is 15 all at the stage. Daniil Medvedev will want to prove himself before the US Open. He is definitely one of the favorites for not only this tournament, but US Open and this whole hardcourt swing at the end of the year. Definitely, I would say in everybody's top two favorites, along Rafael Nadal. As we know, Nadal lost yesterday against Watchalong, so Medvedev will really be looking to capitalize on this opportunity to take this title. He's up against Denis SHAPOVALOV, who is in bad form this past time, only having won, I think, something like 2 matches out of his past lot of matches. But he was able to beat Grigor Dimitrov in the first round and Tommy Paul in the second round. Can he do something today? We know how talented he is and how good he can play. The question is, what level of play will he bring to the table today? Tell me in the chat down below, what is your predictions for this mouth-watering clash between Daniil Medvedev and Denis SHAPOVALOV? Chapo is currently serving at 30-15 as he serves to the backhand of Medvedev, who's standing very, very far behind the baseline. Medvedev now to the backhand of Chapo, the beautiful one-handed backhand from the lefty. And Chapo hitting a backhand to the forehand of Medvedev. Both are standing quite far behind the baseline, so it's quite safe play there. Now Medvedev with a backhand to the forehand of Chapo, but it goes long by Medvedev, and it is 40-15 for Denis SHAPOVALOV, who will be looking for a comfortable hold to start this match. Nice to see some few people in the chat already. I do assume that most people will still be watching the mouth-watering clash currently taking place between Taylor Fritz and Andrei Rublev. Do keep me posted in the chat of the scoreline there. I know it's tied in the third set there at the moment. Jared saying that Tommy Paul was a bit of a fluke. Paul kind of blew it. All right, we'll see over there. I've also heard some comments. I didn't watch the match between Medvedev and his first round match with Van der Zandschulp. Apparently, Medvedev did not play his best game over there, so we'll see. Ems cheering there for Medvedev, the current world number one. Nice to have you in the chat. Gary, nice to have you in the chat as well. It seems like you always do the effort of just checking in. If you're not watching, thank you. I appreciate that very much. For those of you that are already in the chat, please do consider hitting a like button on this video so we can start this likes count early. And maybe by the end of the match, we can reach to something in the range of 100 likes. You never know. Medvedev will be serving next. Chapo was able to hold his serve. Let's see what he can do. He does have a very big serve, and as we saw with the previous matches and also from the history of this court, it is such a fast court that really with a big serve, there isn't much that the returner can do. We also saw it with the performance of John Isner against, who was it, in his first round against, Bonzi, and then in his second round, he also beat someone familiar. Who was that again? I can't remember. Let's see quickly in the draw. But he did cause, it wasn't against Hurkacz. I remember now, against Hurkacz, his serve was just, you couldn't do anything about it, as he was able to beat Hurkacz quite convincingly in the end with the last set. I think it was like 6-2. As Medvedev is now serving at love 15, he serves to the forehand of Chapo, who's able to get that back. Medvedev with a backhand to the forehand of Chapo. It just clips the net from Medvedev, but it is over the net. Now Chapo with a backhand to the backhand of Medvedev, who hits it in the net, and it's love 30. Love 30, and it's a shaky start here by Medvedev and a bit of a window of opportunity here for SHAPOVALOV. Let's see whether he can capitalize on this shaky start here by Medvedev. Medvedev serving at love 30 to the backhand of Chapo, but it's a fault. Second serve for SHAPOVALOV. For Medvedev. As he serves a double fault. It's a double fault by Daniil Medvedev, and that means that it's love 40, and it's 3 break points opportunities now already for Shapovalov. And I feel from a Shapovalov point of view, you really has to capitalize on one of these. Big serve there by Medvedev, but it's a good return there by Shapo as he slices now to the backhand. Medvedev steps into the court, and it's a backhand winner there by Medvedev, and he saves 1 break point, but he still has 2 break points to save. Can he do that with his big serve on this fast court? Let us see if Shapo can capitalize on this. It will be a very, very good start to this match. If he does not capitalize on this, he will be seeing this as a missed opportunity, as Medvedev is once again serving very, very big. Nothing that Shapovalov can do about that. He saves another break point, and it's 30-40. One more break point opportunity for Shapovalov. Hey, Sam, nice to have you in the chat as well, and condolences with the Nadal match, although I did hear that most Nadal fans, and correctly so, aren't too concerned with the performance, as this is a very fast court, and usually with Grand Slams, he does step up his game. As Medvedev's now going to the slice of Shapovalov, Medvedev stepping in, and he gets rewarded, although Shapo gets it back, and Medvedev will now attempt for the smash. And he goes for the smash, and the smash is a winner, and he saves all 3 breakpoint opportunities there by Shapovalov. Not really by the fall of Shapovalov. There wasn't really much he could do. It was just Medvedev playing very, very aggressive with his serve on this fast court, and we're on deuce. Let's see, Medvedev at deuce, serving to the backhand of Shapo. Medvedev stepping in once again, but now retreating to the baseline. Shapo hits that ball long, and is now, 15, 30, 40. 4 points in a row by Medvedev on his serve. Very well done. Gary saying he's leaving for the Iga match. I'm quite interested to see what will happen there between Iga and who is it again? I can't remember. I did see now previously, but for now, for some reason, I can't remember who she's playing. She's playing Keys, I think, right? Madison Keys. That could be a very exciting match. Sam saying it will be quite a surprise if Shapo wins this match, given, I assume, his current form. And saying you hope Cilic wins against Alcaraz. That could be a very, very interesting match. Unfortunately for me, that's quite too late in the day. It will be like 2 o'clock in the morning for me, so I will not be following that match live. Ems saying that Medvedev should wake up. Well, it seems like he is doing just that at the moment, as he will now be serving on advantage. Let's see, Medvedev serving big to the Shapovalov backhand. I think it was. It's always confusing with the lefty to was it the backhand or the forehand? But Medvedev is able to hold his serve, and it is 1-1 in this opening set in this clash between Medvedev and Shapovalov. Shapo now going for the serve and volley quite successfully. They're going to the net, and it is 15-love for Shapovalov at 1-1 in the first set. Sam saying thank you for the condolences with the Rafa loss. I know being a fan, a loss is never easy to take. Not too upset, actually picked the upset based on him coming in from the injury. Yeah, I think we shouldn't read it too much on it. And it is a very, very fast court, which we know isn't Nadal's favorite surface. The US Open, not only will it be I think having practiced more by that time, so we'll be informed in terms of practice, but also, and secondly, it will be a Grand Slam, so more focused, and also maybe also more sets will then give him time to get into the games and get that practice form that he needs. And also, I think with the US Open being slower than Cincinnati will help as well. And it's always difficult in a Masters 1000. Your first round opponent can be quite difficult from the start. While usually with the Grand Slam, you can get into it easy with usually easier first round, second round, third round opponents than you would get in a Masters 1000. Oh, and there you said yourself in the chat now, I see, saying, that with the Masters 1000 doesn't really give you time to get in any form whatsoever. That's very true. As Medvedev is now hitting that ball in the net, and it is 30-15, which makes you wonder, right? Because with a Masters 1000, you get this bye. But you could maybe argue whether that's really a good thing or not, because, I mean, the obvious reason why it could be considered a good thing is, firstly, you get an automatic W, so you don't lose. And secondly, it could be considered a good thing in the sense that you don't get fatigue, you get rest, extra rest. But you could also argue that not having that first round match therefore gives you, or it takes away the opportunity to get into form, especially on a new court. Now you have that bye. Okay, that's so nice, but now you don't get the chance to maybe get into form against an easier opponent on a new court. As we are at 30 all, Shapovalov serving in a bit of a window of opportunity here for Medvedev to now maybe look at a breakpoint opportunity. Hi, MJ. Nice to have you in the chat as well again. All right, let's see. Chapo serving at 30 all. He serves a big serve to the backhand. Chapo serve and volley. Ooh, but it's a very poor volley there by Chapo at the net. Very poorly executed. The volley there at the net went long. So not good control there by Chapo at the net. And it's 30-40, and that means it's a breakpoint opportunity for Medvedev after having saved 3 breakpoints in his previous service game. Can Chapo do the same and save this breakpoint, or will Medvedev make a breakthrough here? Let's see. Chapo serving at 30-40. Chapo serves to the backhand of Medvedev, and he steps in again. This time the volley is good. Medvedev breaks. Medvedev breaks. Chapo was there at the net. He puts there the volley, but Medvedev was able to get to that return from the volley, and he went for the passing shot. Chapo was at the net. Chapo tried to then hit it back from the passing shot, but he was not able to get the ball back over the net, and it is a break for Daniil Medvedev, and he leads this set 2-1. 1 breakpoint opportunity for Medvedev, and he does convert that into a break. 2-1 for Medvedev. So Medvedev, I would say quite lucky in the sense that he was able to save all those breakpoints over there, and then he was also able to capitalize on 2 attempts by Chapo in his service game to try and serve and volley, of which neither of them were successful. All right, as they now go to a change over there, and it seems like it is quite hot out there in Cincinnati, as it seems like there are some cooling systems there at the players' seating area. Let's check here what is happening with the Fritz and Rublev match. Or you can tell me in the chat, whatever is quicker. Seems like Fritz is now going to serve to stay in the match. Rublev leading 5-4, but Fritz will now be serving, so it's still on serve in the third and final deciding set. I'm sure that is a very exciting end to that match. So I did commentate a few days ago. I think it was the day before. No, it was on Monday. And that was the first match I've commentated in a long time, and my voice was really hurt after that, as I'm not used to commentating any longer, and I can already feel now as well that my voice is starting to crack a little bit. As when you commentate, you speak louder than you usually would because of the excitement. And it's a fault serve there by Medvedev. And he serves to the backhand of Chapo. It's a nice deep return there by Chapo as he steps in with his forehand to the forehand of Medvedev. Chapo now with the forehand cross court to the forehand of Medvedev. Chapo now with the backhand to the forehand of Medvedev. He goes down the line. Chapo responds with the forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. Medvedev now with the forehand to the forehand of Chapo. It's quite a long rally considering the speed of the court. Medvedev now with the forehand to the forehand of Chapo. That's big by Chapo. Medvedev gets there with a slice. Chapo stepping again. And it's a big winner with this forehand from Shapovalov there cross-scored as he takes that point, and he takes the first point on the service game of Medvedev, and it's love 15. That's some big hitting there by Chapo, as we know he is capable of. The question is always the risk, the high-risk game that he does choose to play. High risk, high reward, but high risk can also lead to some large counts of errors. We'll see today which one of those two cases will come true in this match as Medvedev is serving at love 15. He says a fault. Oh, they say it's not a fault. Okay. Chapo now with the backhand to the forehand of Medvedev. Chapo with the forehand. He overcooks it. It goes long, and it's 15 all. And I see with Fritz Rublev. Fritz serving at 15-30. Will Rublev be able to break here and take the match? as Medvedev serves big to the forehand of Shapo, who's not able to get that ball back, and it is 30-15. As Medvedev serves a fault. Second serve by Medvedev to the backhand of Shapo, who steps in, is deep into the court. And it's drop shot by Shapo. And it's a successful drop shot. There's a beautiful drop shot there by SHAPOVALOV. He was stepping into the court, so he was perfectly positioned to hit that drop shot. Medvedev too far behind the baseline. He didn't even attempt to get to that drop shot. Beautifully executed there by Shapo. And it's 30-all. Can he maybe break back? Medvedev serves a fault. And it's a second serve to the backhand of Shapo, who goes to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo now stepping in with a big forehand and is in control. He goes to the net. There's a volley there by Shapo, but Medvedev gets there. Medvedev gets there with his speed. That's very, very good court coverage there by Medvedev. He's able to hit that away for a winner. And it's 40-30. It was not bad play there by Shapo. It was an aggressive forehand, and then he stepped in. And then the volley was fine, but Medvedev was just too quick getting there at the end and passing Shapo there at the net. And it is 40-30. Jared saying, get the phrase overcooks it out and ready for frequent use in this match. Yeah, we'll see. Well, we know that Shapo is going to be aggressive. He's not going to play defensive here today. Medvedev with a very good serve as he steps in with a follow-up shot, and he does hit that ball in for a winner as he consolidates his break, and he leads 3-1 in this first set. And it's no change over now at 3-1. And Shapo will now be serving. As I see, it's currently 5-all in the Taylor Fritz versus Andrei Rublev match. It seems like Fritz was able to hold there. How is that match going to end? Tell me in the chat, what is your predictions for the end of the Fritz and Rublev match? And who of you are maybe following that match currently as well? Shapo is now serving. Second serve, but it's a double fault. And it's love 15. First service percentage now by Denis Shapo, Denis Shapovalov at 46% and 56% there by Daniil MEDVEDEV. So it's not great by either player. No aces this far. As Shapo is now serving a fault, second serve. And it's let. Second serve again. And Medvedev is standing very, very far behind the baseline. Let's see. Shapo now with the serve to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo with a big forehand down the line. Medvedev gets there though. Drop shot attempt by Shapo. Medvedev gets there. But it just doesn't get over the net. Good attempt there by Shapovalov with a drop shot. Medvedev was able to get to that ball, but he wasn't able to get that ball over the net once he got there. And it's 15-all. Shapovalov survives there. 15-all as he goes for the title. It seems like it is very hot in Cincinnati. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it seems like heat could be a factor in today's match if it goes the distance. Denis Shapovalov serving at 15-all. As a fault, second serve. He serves to the forehand of Medvedev. He's once again standing miles behind the baseline. Now Shapo with a forehand to the backhand of Medvedev, who goes cross-court into the forehand of Shapo. Medvedev stepping in. Shapo now hitting a deep backhand. Nice. Medvedev is forced to retreat. Medvedev now with a forehand in the middle of the court. Medvedev now with a backhand to the backhand of Shapo. Hits it in the net, and it's 15-30. Medvedev tried to step into the court, but then was forced to retreat backwards when Shapo then responded with some deep backhands. 15-30. Yep, Fritz still going with Andrei Rublev. It is their 5-all, and it seems like Rublev is serving at 15-30. Shapo also serving at 15-30. As Shapo serves. A fault, second serve. He serves second serve to the backhand of Medvedev. Now Shapo with a drop shot. Will Medvedev get there? Yes, comfortably. Comfortably. It was a poor drop shot because it had a lot of air. It was in the air for like 2 hours. And Medvedev had a lot of time, not only to get to the ball, but was also able to get there while the ball is still high enough that it was very easy to get it over the net at that stage. So it's 15-40, and that means 2 more breakpoint opportunities for Medvedev. Can he capitalize one of them? Shapo serves. A fault. Second serve. He's in trouble. He is in trouble. Shapo serves to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo steps in, but it's not necessary to do anything with that ball as Medvedev hits that return long, and it's 30-40, but it's still another breakpoint opportunity for Daniil Medvedev. As MJ says, please don't forget to hit the like on this video as we are enjoying this mouth-watering clash between Daniil Medvedev and SHAPOVALOV. Shapo serving at 30-40. A fault. And his first service percentage is now 35%. That's just horrible. Second serve. He serves to the backhand of Medvedev. And it's not returned there by Medvedev. And it's deuce. Shapo saves 2 breakpoints opportunities. So what I've now noticed here is that like every second serve by Shapo goes to the backhand of Medvedev. So Medvedev can really anticipate that. But Medvedev is standing so far behind the baseline that he's not really needed to anticipate anything because it takes so long for the ball to get to him. Deuce, Shapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo now with a big forehand and he steps in. And once again, doesn't need to do anything with that ball as Medvedev hits that ball long. And it's advantage to SHAPOVALOV to ensure maybe that he's only 1 break behind in this first set. Break point opportunity for Taylor Fritz. As Rublev is serving at 40, that is advantage for Taylor Fritz. Shapo serving at advantage. And I can hear the crowd roaring in the background in Cincinnati in this stream. Shapo is able to hold. Let's see, why did the crowd cheer? They did cheer because Taylor Fritz just broke. I did think that that's probably the reason, as Taylor Fritz is from America and they are playing in America. Their local hero just broke and he will be serving for that match. Let's keep an eye on that score line as well. I thought now for a moment if Medvedev was able to break here, I thought maybe this Medvedev-Shapovalov match is going to end earlier than the Taylor Fritz-Andre Rublev match. So the Taylor Fritz and Andre Rublev match, Taylor Fritz and Andre Rublev match is like the first match on that court, the center court that they are playing on. And the second match on that court will be the Iga match against Madison Keys. On this court that we are playing on right now, the first match was Kvitova against Jabeur. And even though that went 3 sets, it was quite a quick match as 2 of those sets, the sets that Kvitova took, was just domination from her side, with the last set being 6-love. So now we already have Medvedev versus Shapovalov in 3-2, while on the other court they're still busy with their first match. So Jared saying the real question we should be asking is, which match will be over first? Yeah, that's what I alluded to. Rublev versus Fritz or Medi versus Shapo. Well, Fritz will now be serving for the match. And if Rublev is able to break, then we'll go to a tie break. We are 45 people currently in the chat. Thank you for joining me for this match. Hopefully, when the Fritz and Rublev match finishes, some more people will be joining us over here once that stream is done. Tell them in the other chat, like, oh my word, this Medvedev-Shapo match is like the match of the year currently. You would not believe what you are saying. You better join this match afterwards. Match of the century. Like, forget Wimbledon 2008 final. This Medvedev versus Shapo. Wow. As Medvedev is stepping in and it takes that early point, 15-love. Best match of all time. Contestants, you get the Wimbledon final 2008. Tell me in the chat, what do you think are the contenders for the best matches of all time. You would think Wimbledon final 2008. You would think Australian Open final 2017. You obviously have your Djokovic and Nadal match. That long Australian Open final was in 2012, I think. I can't exactly remember. Medvedev, 30 love, as he serves now to the forehand of Shapo, but it's late. Medvedev serving at 30 love. Fault, second serve. Interesting. Jabeur was off yesterday, so no wonder she lost today. I also think the court speed isn't really to her favor, being so fast. I think at US Open, it will be a better suited to her. But there are some questions whether the Wimbledon loss didn't maybe cause a bit of a mental block that could linger for a while. Let's hope not. As Medvedev is now stepping in due to a block return there by Shapo, and Shapo tries to go for the lob, but it goes long in the end, and it's a very, very quick service game here so far by Daniil Medvedev. That's 40-15. First serve points won, 92% by Medvedev, only 63% by Shapovalov. So not only does Shapovalov not get a lot of first serves in, but then when he gets it in, he doesn't really win a lot of those points either. As Medvedev is able to hold there comfortably, and he leads this set 4-2. All right, as Shapo will now be serving, and it seems like Taylor Fritz is serving for the match in the other one at 40-15. You can tell the other people in the chat that Federer suddenly came on the court and is now playing, and they should all come and see. It's astonishing. 15 love for Shapo. Let's see what's happening there at the other match. 40-15 still. Ben Angel asking, is Ben doing the Emma match? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what the remainder schedule is for today. 30 love for Shapo. Seems to getting his serve a bit of under control. I see it's 40-30. There, Taylor Fritz serving. So Rublev just saved the match point. Shapo now stepping in with some big serves. He's now at the net, and he puts away that volley, and that's much better footwork there by Shapo versus some of the other games that we've seen, and it's 40 love. And I hear cheering in the crowd. I assume Fritz just won. Google hasn't updated yet, but it seems like by the noise. Let's see. Yeah, I can hear the announcer saying Taylor Fritz. Oh, there Google goes. It's 7-5 for Taylor Fritz, and he takes that game. He beats Andrei Rublev 6-7, 6-2, 7-5. What a performance there by Taylor Fritz after doing so well against Nick Kyrgios as well. He really is having a magnificent year. Tell me, what are your predictions for Taylor Fritz for the remainder of this calendar? Because he just seems to have so much more confidence this year than maybe in previous years, doing so well. And as we know, Taylor Fritz will be playing the winner of this match between Denis Shapovalov and Daniil Medvedev, as Medvedev goes for a nice cross-court backhand. And now with the drop shot slice, Shapo gets there though, and Medvedev's at the net, but Shapo, maybe you would say, from an ethical perspective, how do I feel about that? But he hits it in the body of Medvedev, who tries to deflect with his racket. He's not able to do anything with it. No, I must have missed something because, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so Shapo won that point and he got that service game. And now Medvedev will serve, but he is still leading with the serve at 4-3 with a break in hand. All right, let's see. Jared asking, Haman, what's your opinion on the Legends Tour? Do you think any of the big three would do it? That's a very interesting question. I would think the answer would be yes, but probably not that often. And I think the reason is that I feel like a big reason as to why they would retire is to spend more time with their families. And that's also why I feel like for Federer, as an example, and I think for Nadal as well, I think it's quite unlikely. With Djokovic, I'm a bit unsure, but it's because I think he's so far away from retirement, it's difficult to judge. But take Federer, for example, which is easier to guess because it's so close to retirement. He will not become a coach on tour. I think there's no chance of that happening because, as I've just said, he's retiring because he wants to spend more time with his family. And then you don't want to tour around the world. If you're a coach, you have to do that anyway. You're not really saving time versus being a player. So in terms of legends, I think they'll probably play not that often because they don't want to tour a lot because they want to spend time with their families. But maybe once in a while, I could see that happening. And obviously, the crowds will just love it. I'm wondering how their form would be because obviously they won't be practicing a lot. So that will be quite interesting to see also like how much practice do they really need to still be able to perform well. I think like with Federer's talent, natural talent is so high that he will always be able to produce some good form. I also think with legends, usually they will play doubles. And we know that especially Rafa and Roger, they are such good doubles players that I think they could still do well on that tour. But yeah, I don't think it will be often. Tell me, what do you think? Sam saying Fritz versus Medvedev would be interesting. Yeah, it will be two players quite in good form and two players definitely to watch at the US Open. So that would be a very interesting matchup and probably the more likely matchup. Hey, Capricorn, nice to have you in the chat. I see you came now from the Fritz match. For those of you that are just joining us, consider hitting a like button on this video. Let's see how many likes we can get on this clip. As Shapo is now doing a big forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo now with the forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. Once again, Shapo in control of this rally. That's a big and deep forehand there by Shapo. Medvedev tries to backspin that back in court, but it doesn't work. And it's love 15 for Denis Shapovalov. Well, on the serve of Medvedev. I'm just saying Novak wants to coach. Okay, that's interesting. Tell me then, who do you think would be a good player for him to coach? Well, I guess it's also difficult to say because I think he's still so far away from retirement that it's difficult to say like which players will be there by the time that he retires. Let's see Medvedev serving at 15 all. As he serves to the backhand of Shapo. Medvedev now stepping in with a forehand to the backhand of Shapo, who goes for the slice. Medvedev now with a down the line backhand, which Shapo is opting for the slice once again. Shapo now doing a lot of running. Now a backhand, but in the middle of the court. Medvedev tries to go for a deep forehand, but it goes, I think it was long and wide, but I'm not sure. Either way, it was not in court, and it's 15-30. Opportunity here maybe for Shapo to break back. Medvedev serving a fault second serve. I'm just saying Novak has 5 years. I think that's a well, Novak is 6 years younger than Roger, and Roger is still playing, if you can call it that. And you could argue that Novak is in better physical shape than Roger maybe was at that age. So it could be longer. I could see him going for 8 more years, maybe. And that's unreturned there by Shapo, and it's 40-30 for Medvedev. Mikai saying, I hope Shapo will win. Tell me, Mikai, where are you from? And just saying, Rafa and Roger are both legends and want to spend time with their family. I really doubt they would do legends. I think what could happen is they will keep on somehow being involved with the Laver Cup. What could be interesting is like, so currently your captains for the Laver Cup is like Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe, right? But maybe like in, let's say, 10 years' time, then you have like Roger Federer and Andy Roddick or something like that. Then it could be interesting if the captains play as well. I think that could be quite interesting to see. As Medvedev hits that in the net, and as advantage, break back point opportunity for Shapovalov. I did not see this coming. At a stage, it looked like Shapo could be double broken. Now suddenly has a chance to level it up. Big serve there by Medvedev, but it's a good return by Shapo. Shapo now with a backhand slice. Medvedev now with a backhand cross-court. Shapo with a forehand. He gets it back. It's good running there by Shapo. Good defense by Shapo. Medvedev now with a big forehand down the line, but Shapo gets there again. Medvedev Goes for a beautiful backhand down the line, but Shapo gets there again. Medvedev now with a forehand to the forehand of Shapo. Shapo doing a lot of defense work there, and Medvedev hits it long. Medvedev hits that long, and Shapo breaks back. Great defense there by SHAPOVALOV, and it's 4-all. This set is not done and dusted. We are equal, 4-all. Well done, Denis SHAPOVALOV. Wow. That was just insane defense there by Shapo, and he's cheering on the crowd. He says, come on, come on, come on. He's probably telling people, hit the like button, people, on the Game to Love podcast. That's exactly what he said. I can see it in his lip movement. Please consider hitting the like button on this video, and let's see what we can get with this coverage. As SHAPOVALOV is now serving at 4 games. All it's a fault second serve. Gary commenting on not a lot of people in the stands for Zhang and Kontovic. I've heard, like, I've followed now a few of the Game to Love games or the commentary, and I mentioned in my podcast with Murray and who was it, Wawrinka, that the crowd was quite dead. And I heard Ben now also saying it with the match between Jabeur and I'm gonna get it. The one with Kvitova. So, I mean, it looks like the crowd maybe this year isn't really that involved. Obviously, they're going to be for the Taylor Fritz match because he's a local. But it is quite disappointing to see maybe that the crowd this year is maybe not as electrifying as you would want them to be. Yeah, that was a brilliant rally there between Medvedev and Shapo. Just great defense there by Shapo to take that point. Capricorn saying Medi is not exactly playing great in 2022. It feels like he won't defend his US Open title. Yeah, he's not at the same level he was at the end of last year this far, right? So he made the final in Australia. He was leading by so far, and I wonder whether that maybe had an effect on him. We should keep in mind that clay isn't like his favorite surface, so you can't really expect him to get a nice run over there. And with grass, he didn't really get the opportunity to do anything at Wimbledon. So it's really this portion of the year that he needs to prove himself, or this is usually where he shines. Now, I really think at Montreal, it was just a bad draw lineup with Kyrgios. So, I mean, it's not too late to turn it around and still consider this as a good year, but we'll have to see. In terms of US Open, like, if he doesn't defend it, now the question becomes, okay, well, who will then? Because nobody is in good form, it seems like, of the top players. Because, I mean, you say now Medvedev, maybe not in this greatest form. Nadal coming back from an injury, losing first round in Cincinnati. And then you have players like Alcaraz, who's maybe also struggling with some confidence. You have Sinner, lost first round in Montreal. Tsitsipas also maybe in bad form. Zverev not playing. Djokovic not playing. Berrettini in horrible form, losing first round in both Canada as well as Cincinnati. Hurkacz did so well in Montreal, but then losing to John Isner over here. So it becomes very difficult to guess what's going to happen. I guess when we look at players that are really in top form, I'm thinking Taylor Fritz, and that's basically the only name that comes to mind. And Kyrgios to an extent, although he didn't really do too well versus Taylor Fritz. So, yeah, it's difficult to say, which makes you think, well, Taylor Fritz is really like the only guy currently being in some consistent form. Medvedev now with the slice. And it doesn't get that ball back. And Shapo is leading in the service game 40-30. Jared saying when Shapo had his Wimbledon semi-final run, he was getting so many returns back in play by chipping the ball. I agree with that. Somewhat similar to Federer, exactly. We should get back to that. Yeah, especially on a court like this. You know, I think a chip return can be very well, very rewarding on a fast court like this. You don't really have to hit that ball back so hard. You just, if your chip is deep, then it's very, very awkward for the other player. As SHAPOVALOV is able to hold, and he leads for the first time this match, 5-4. All right, let's have a look at the chat. I'm a bit behind over here. Yeah, Armenia saying, good to see Shapo playing well again. I think, yeah, from a neutral perspective, it is nice because he is such an electrifying, aggressive player, which is always nice to the eye to see. And also that one hand and backhand is just beautiful to watch. Capricorn saying, Chorik wins the US Open. Yeah. I wonder what the odds would be if you say that he is going to win this. But yeah, I think, like, obviously you're joking. But I mean, I'm always so surprised with the recency bias that people have when selecting. Not that I'm like I'm talking like I'm the expert in predicting. I suck at it. Like for both Montreal and Cincinnati, I said Berrettini's gonna win this, and he loses first round both times. So not that I'm any better at it, but like recency bias is really an interesting thing that people have. Like we saw it with Carreno Busta now as well. Sam saying the US Open is up for grabs, but I'll never doubt my man Rafa. And with good reason. With very, very good reason. You can never doubt him. All right, let's see. Medvedev serving to stay in this match at 4-5 as he serves a first serve fault, second serve to the backhand of Chapo, who just hits it wide, and his first point to Medvedev, 15-love. Very, very exciting stuff here. It seems like it's going to be swift and easy for Medvedev as it was almost up a double break. Suddenly, we're back on serve. Not only back on serve, but Chapo is leading. But Chapo is not able to get that serve back, and it's 30-love. First serve percentage by Medvedev is currently 65%. Chapo's was like 35%. It's now at least up to 50%. Medvedev now serving a big serve. That's a great return there by Chapo. Medvedev now with a forehand to the forehand of Shapovalov. Medvedev with a backhand cross court to the forehand of Chapo. It clips the net, which gives Chapo a bit more time to wind up that forehand. Chapo tries to go for the drop shot. It does not go over the net, and it's 40-love. So far, a comfortable service hold for Medvedev, serving at 40-love. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for this match. What is your predictions for this match? Tell me. In the beginning, there weren't a lot of people in the chat, so I didn't get any predictions, but maybe we can get some predictions now as we are evenly poised at the end of this set. Tell me who's going to win this match and what do you think the scoreline is going to be as Medvedev is there able to hold his serve, and we are at 5 games. So before this match, I said Medvedev in straights, and it looked like it's going to be a straight set affair. But now I'm not so sure. Chapo is really picking up his level as he's now serving to the forehand of Medvedev. He's standing 45 miles behind the baseline. Chapo now with a forehand to the forehand of Medvedev. He now decides to step in. Chapo now with a backhand to the forehand of Medvedev. Chapo now with a big forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. He's now just hitting the ball back and trying to absorb the pace of Chapo. Now Medvedev control of this rally. Chapo now with a slice backhand. Medvedev stepping in with a big forehand. It's just in. Now Medvedev is once again stepping in with a big forehand. Is it in? Yes, it's just in. I thought it was maybe long, but it was not. Medvedev takes that point and it's love 15. Let's see in the chat. What is your predictions for this match? Tim White says Medvedev will take it in 2 sets. And you think the scoreline is going to be 7-5, 6-4. Bull saying that Chapo wins the first set in a tiebreaker. MJ also going for Chapo and saying you win that set 7-5. Interesting. Tim White saying, lol, at 45 miles behind, 45 miles behind the baseline. It's something like that. Let's see. Return by Medvedev goes long and it's 15-all. JC saying another great match, Medi in 3 tight sets. Let's see. Usually when I commentate, the matches go on for very long. I don't know what curse that is. Like, even like when it's such a straightforward match, like Alcaraz versus Ramos Vinolas, then it's like the longest match you've ever seen in 5 sets. It just happens that way. And the same with Murray versus Wawrinka the other day, being like 3 hours and something long. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is once again a very, very long match. We'll have to see. Chapo is now serving to the backhand of Medvedev. He's standing basically in a different court as he hits a drop shot successfully. Chapo is not able to get that ball back. He was able to get to the ball, but the ball was too low at contact point at that stage. He was not able to get the ball over the net. And it is 15-30. Bit of a window of opportunity here for Medvedev. Chapo wearing a hat at the stage. The sun is out and hot in Cincinnati. We'll see if the match goes on for long, where the heat will play a role in the performance of both players. Chapo goes for the serve and volley. And Medvedev tries to go for the passing shot, but it goes wide, which is quite lucky there, I feel, for Chapo, as the volley wasn't great. But good enough, it seems, and it's 30-all. And they show that Medvedev has now made 3 passing shot errors, which will then obviously spur Shapovalov on further to go for the serve and volley the more and more Medvedev struggles to hit those passing shots. 30-all, Chapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev. Chapo now with a big forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. Chapo now with a forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. It goes down the line, and Chapo is able to get to the ball but not get it back in play. That's a beautiful backhand there by Medvedev down the line, and it's 30-40, and that means that it's a break opportunity for the Russian Daniil Medvedev. Can he capitalize on this one and maybe serve then for the first set of this match? Chapo serving to the forehand of Medvedev, is not able to get the ball back into play, despite being miles behind the baseline. So there was plenty of time to get ready for that shot. But I think it's because he was standing so far beyond the baseline that you have to generate so much more power to get the ball back in play, because you have to hit the ball 45 miles in front of you above the net, and he wasn't able to generate enough pace there, and we're back to deuce. Breakpoint save by Shapovalov, as he now serves a fault second serve. He serves to the backhand of Medvedev. Chapo now hitting to the forehand of Medvedev, and he tries to go for painting the lines, but he misses, and it's advantage for Denis Shapovalov. MJ just wanting Medvedev to lose some points in this tournament. Yeah, with Rafa having lost, it really does well for Medvedev in terms of his number 1 world ranking. Chapo serving at advantage. Fault, second serve. As we can hear Coldplay playing in the arena at a different stadium. Chapo serving now to the backhand of Medvedev. Chapo now with a forehand. It clips the net. Medvedev forced to go forward, but it puts away a winner. Medvedev with his forehand down the line, and we're back to deuce. Sean asking, can Alcaraz get to number 1 this year? That's a good question. I'll have to get my Excel sheet out. I would think that it is maybe possible, technically, mathematically, because, I mean, he's not defending a lot, is he? Like, if he wins Cincinnati and, like, US Open, I think he made the 4th round last year. So I would think that it is probably mathematically still possible. Let me know in the chat if you know that's maybe not true, but I would think that it is possible. And Chapo is in the net, and it's advantage for Daniil Medvedev. So the game duration for this game is now already 5 minutes. While the previous game, it was only 1 minute. So you can see Chapo a bit of under pressure on his serve versus the 3 points that Medvedev was able to get on his serve. As we have a breakpoint opportunity here for Daniil Medvedev. Breakpoint number 2, Chapo serving. Big serve to the backhand of Medvedev. And once again, I feel it's the same thing. Because he is standing so far behind the baseline, yes, he has enough time to react to the ball, but now he has to generate so much pace and power to his return just to get to the ball back. And he hits the backhand, but it hits the net because he's not able to generate enough height on that ball, standing so far back. And it's deuce. Shapovalov serving. Fault, second serve. MJ saying that Alcaraz needs to win like 85% of the tournaments, and he must win the US Open. There is a 1,800 points between him and number 1. And you think if Medvedev wins the US Open, he stays number 1. All right. And we have another breakpoint opportunity here for Medvedev on the serve of Chapo. Chapo serves to the forehand of Medvedev, and it's the same thing. It doesn't generate enough height on the ball, and the return goes into the net, and we're back to deuce. So it's a few breakpoints saved now already by Denis SHAPOVALOV on his serve. Deuce. Chapo serving to the forehand of Medvedev. He goes for serve and volley, and that's a good volley, but Medvedev will get there. But the lob of Medvedev goes long, and it's point to SHAPOVALOV. He has advantage. Chapo serving to the forehand of Medvedev. Chapo now shanks it. It goes long, and we are back to deuce. Sean saying, I think standing that deep really throws the opponent off. Makes you think you have to hit 100-mile winners to get past him. That's true. It does make you think. Fault by Chapo. As he serves to the backhand of Medvedev. Chapo now with a cross-court forehand, but it goes long, and it's another breakpoint opportunity for Daniil Medvedev. Advantage Medvedev. Interesting. On a positive note, I think Djokovic will play all 4 Grand Slams next year. I also think the odds of that happening is quite high. Breakpoint number 4, opportunity for Medvedev. As Chapo serves to the backhand. Medvedev breaks. Medvedev breaks. Chapo tries to go for the serve and volley, but the return by Medvedev was just too good, and Chapo shanks it there at the net. Not a shank, really, but he's not able to put that volley away. It goes into the crowd, and it's a break by Daniil Medvedev, and that means that he will be serving for the first set. Daniil Medvedev. All right, and finally, that is the case. It started out this match with Medvedev dominating. Chapo was able to break back and even lead the set at a certain stage, but now Medvedev broke, and he will be serving for the first set of this match. Interesting, to be honest, if Djokovic gets in this year, the US Open, he has no preparation. He won't do well. He's not that great, is he? No, so I think if there's one person that doesn't need a lot of preparation, it is Novak Djokovic. We've seen it so often with Wimbledon, him not playing any warm-up tournaments for the grass, and then people are always bringing it up, lack of preparation. But has never proven to be an issue, and I really don't think it will be an issue for the US Open if he's able to play either. Firstly, because I think he doesn't really know a lot of preparation, but also I think, and he also obviously is very accustomed to the court speed there. It's not going to be a surprise. He's so experienced that he will know how the court will behave. But also, I feel like for these top guys, as if the first and the second round and the third round even serves as a form of a warm-up for them. They don't need to play their best tennis in those earlier rounds. Like 50%, 60% of their level is enough. And then those early rounds can serve as preparation for the tournament which follows thereafter. So I don't really see it as an issue if he's able to play not having any preparation. Hi, Mark. Nice to have you in the chat. Yes, I am South African, as you can probably hear from my horrible English accent. I assume maybe are you from South Africa as well? But as MJ points out, he will be ranked number 6. He won't have a protected path. That's quite true, actually. I didn't think of that before. So his earlier rounds won't be that easy. It will be quite awkward if he has, like, let's say, a Nick Kyrgios or something in a very early round. That's true. As there's a shank by Medvedev, and it's love 15. Opportunity maybe here to break back. You never know for SHAPOVALOV. That was a mistake. Wrong button. All right, let's see. Medvedev serving at love 15. Fault, second serve. As Medvedev serves to the backhand of Shapo. It's quite awkward there for Shapo with his single backhand, but he's able to get that ball back in play. Shapo now with a forehand to the forehand of Medvedev. He goes down the line. Shapo with the forehand also down the line. Medvedev now opting for the slice, or is forced to a slice rather. Medvedev in trouble, but Shapo puts away the volley. It's a terrible volley, and he smashes his racket against his shoe. I think, was that what happened? I'm not sure. He's changing his racket. Maybe there was a string that broke. I think that could be true. Let's see. So the volley was a... Ooh, and Shapo gets a warning. So no, what happened is it not a string that broke? And now he's arguing with umpire Muhammad. So Shapo missed the volley, and then it seems like he hit his racket against his shoe. And that necessitated him to get a new racket because of the damage he placed the racket on with his shoe. And therefore, the abuse warning. And now Shapo is arguing with the umpire. 15-all. Medvedev serving to the backhand of Shapo. It's too good. No, the forehand. I always get confused because he's a lefty. 30-15. Lexi, nice to have you in the chat very quickly. Thank you for dropping by or stopping. Thanks for stopping by. As Veronica Corningstone says in Anchorman, now available on Netflix in South Africa, finally. Medvedev serving at 30-15. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in the chat. If you're new here, consider hitting the like button on this video. Let's see how many likes we can get. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. As Medvedev is able to hit an ace. Very nice time to get an ace on his serve, and it's 40-15, and that means that it's 2 set points for Medvedev on his own serve. As he serves. Big! And Shapo is not able to return that ball back into play. Medvedev holds his serve, and that means that he takes the first set, 7-5. Daniil. All right, Medvedev takes that set as we originally think would happen. 7-5, and it's a bit of a trouble here for SHAPOVALOV. Can he make a comeback? We'll have to see. If you would just excuse me for 1 minute, I'm going to refill my cup with water as my voice is being challenged here with this commentary. I'll be right back. All right, tell me in the chat, what are your thoughts on this match? Will this be a straight sets affair now for Daniil Medvedev, or is there a comeback on the cards for Denis SHAPOVALOV? Well, as my matches usually go on commentary being so long, I am calling a 3-setter right over here. Mark saying you're from South Africa. Well, hello, fellow South African. My English accent is cool. Well, that's a lie. Mark saying Medvedev needs to win a big tournament before the US Open to give him some real confidence leading up to the last slam of the year. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially like with his early loss in Montreal. Unfortunate draw there against Kyrgios, but I also really think that he does need a big win under his belt because he hasn't had a big win in a while now. Yes, he won Sao Paulo, but I think he really needs a Masters 1000 to give him that belief that he can defend his US Open title this year. Interesting. Straights for Medvedev. Shapo collapses like a house of cards. Shapo serving first in the second set, and it's 15 all. That's a fault. Second serve. He serves to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo tries to step in, but that forehand by Shapo goes long, wide, long. That's the word, long. Overcooked. Which Jared said we will hear a lot today. He overcooks that forehand, and it's 15-30. Big serve there by Shapo, and he steps in as a big forehand cross-court winner there by SHAPOVALOV, and it is 30 all in this first service game of the second set. Right, let's see. Shapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo now stepping in with a big forehand, and once again, a big forehand winner there by SHAPOVALOV, all starting with a big serve, which really set up the rest of the point, and it is 40-30. Can he hold in this service game? I see we are on 49 likes. We need that one like. We need that one like to make it 50. Come on, make it, let it happen. And what did happen there with my words? Come on, let it happen. Maybe I don't deserve that extra like. But if you think I do, come on, let's get that 50. As Shapo is able to hold the service game, which you would think is crucial as a confidence setup for this set and remainder of the match. He's able to hold, and it's one game to love for Denis Shapovalov. What can he do? What can he do for the remainder of the match? We'll have to wait and see. All right, and now Medvedev will serve for the first time in the set. And we did reach 50 likes. Thank you very much for whoever made that possible. I think 100 is a bit of a stretch. We are not a lot of people here today, are we? All right, Medvedev serving. Fault in the net. Let's see what's happening in the Iga match. Sliced there by Medvedev. Oh, was it a double fault? I think I missed that point. Yeah, it was a double fault. Love 15. Medvedev serves to the backhand of Shapo. And it's not returned, and it's 15 all. Medvedev serving to the forehand of Shapo once again unreturned. It's not an ace, but it's just as good from a scoreline perspective, and it's 30-15. Medvedev serving. It's a big serve there to the forehand of Shapovalov. Not a lot of topspin, but it's quick. It's 40-15. And it's once again a big serve to the backhand of Shapo. Now Shapo with a forehand down the line. Medvedev with a forehand to the forehand of Shapo. And Medvedev stepping in with a big forehand now to the backhand of Shapo. But Shapo is doing well there. And Medvedev overcooks it behind the baseline. And it's 40-30. All right, let's see what's happening with Iga Swiatek. She is leading 2-1, and she has a break point. Medvedev now with a forehand to the backhand of Shapo. Now Shapo with a forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. Oh, that's nicely done down the line there by Medvedev. Now Shapo with a forehand to... No, Shapo overcooks it. And Medvedev holds, and it's 1-all. And Medvedev sailing, cruising. At this stage, 1-all in the second set. All right, Shapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev. That's a good serve. Shapo now with a smash. Ooh, it's just in. Smash is just in by Shapo, and it's 15-love. All right. Shapo now serving to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo now with a drop shot. Will Medvedev get there easily? That was a very poor drop shot there by Shapo. Once again, as he did in the first set, way too much air. It's like in the air for 4 minutes, and it gives plenty of time for Medvedev to get to that ball. And not only does he get there, the ball is high enough by the time that he gets there that he can just put it away. He doesn't really even need to scoop it up, as you often have to do with drop shots. 15-all for Shapo, as he serves big to the forehand of Medvedev, who hits the return wide, and it's 30-15. Mathieu saying that Medvedev is the best player. Yep, well, he is number one, and stats don't lie. 30-15 for Shapovalov, serving at 1-all. He serves to the backhand, and it looks like every time he's going to go for the serve and volley, but then he decides against it. But now Medvedev with a forehand slice to the forehand of Shapo, tries to go down the line, but he hits it in the net, and it's 30-all. And maybe, as Sean alluded to earlier, maybe Shapo feels that because Medvedev is standing so far behind the baseline, he feels like he needs to hit the ball harder than what is really necessary. 30-all, Shapo serving, as he serves to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo now with the forehand down the line to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo in control of this rally. Medvedev defending. Shapo at the net. Volley, but Medvedev is there. Medvedev goes for the pass, and Shapo tries to hit it for a volley again, but the volley goes long, and it's point to Medvedev. Net approach there by Shapo, not successful. That means it's a breakpoint opportunity for Daniil Medvedev. If he breaks here, well, then it's just smooth sailing from here, I would think. Breakpoint opportunity, or 2 out of 7 won for Medvedev thus far. Shapo serves big to the forehand, and Shapo is stepping in. Medvedev goes for the passing shot, but Medvedev hits the ball wide, and it's breakpoint saved there by Shapo, and we are on deuce. Good serve there by Shapo under pressure. Shapo, let's wait for it. Shapo has something in common with the band Queen. They both can perform under pressure. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. As he serves a big serve there, and it's advantage for Shapovalov. It was his first ace for the match there by Shapovalov. It's a slow serve, but effective, as it forced Medvedev to move quite a distance to the left, not able to return that, and it's a hold by Denis Shapovalov, and he leads the set 2-1. All right, so far, evenly poised in this second set. And I see that the first serve percentage by Shapovalov now went up to 65%, which is good to see from a neutral perspective, as it was around the area of like 30% at some stage. So his serve is really now picking up in terms of quality. Not a lot of aces throughout this match thus far. 3 aces by Medvedev and only 1 by Shapo. But I think if you look at the points of unreturned in play, there are a lot of them. So, I mean, it still shows that the court is very quick. So the winner of this match will be playing Taylor Fritz, after Taylor Fritz was able to beat Andrei Rublev. Fritz was seeded 11th, Rublev 6th, and I must say Rublev is not in good form at all. It's very worrying, to be honest. I don't think Rublev is a top 10 contender for the US Open. Tell me if you disagree with that statement. So it will then probably, if Medvedev is able to come through here, then it will be Medvedev versus Taylor Fritz in the quarterfinals. In the other quarterfinals, most probably, if Tsitsipas is able to get through Schwartzman, which I do suspect will happen, then it will be Tsitsipas versus the winner of Korda and Isner, which will also be quite an interesting match to see. Then we saw Shelton winning against Casper Ruud yesterday. That was just insane. So now Shelton will be taking on Cam Norrie in the third round, and the winner of that match will be taking on the winner of Chilik and Alcaraz, which could also be a mouth-watering clash. Then we have Felix versus Sinner. Oh, wow. I mean, 2 young guns, so much potential ahead of them in their careers, and the winner of that match will be taking on the winner of Batista Agut, and Chorik was able to beat Nadal yesterday, as Shapo hits it in the net and it's 15 all. Medvedev serving. Medvedev serves in the net. Second serve. Big serve there by Medvedev. Shapo hits that return long, and it's 30-15. Medvedev serves to the forehand of Shapo, and that return goes long as well. And as I said earlier, yeah, there's only 3 aces from Medvedev and only 1 by Shapo, but so many of the points are unreturned, showing that the serves are indeed very effective. Now Medvedev serving to the backhand of Shapo. Medvedev now with the forehand down the line to Shapo's forehand, who gets it in play. Shapo now with a backhand cross-court into the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo with a nice slice. I like that change and variety. But the next topspin backhand by Shapo goes wide. Medvedev holds, and it's 2 games all. Is this set going to go the distance as we saw the first set as well? Well, currently it looks like that. Hey G, nice to have you in the chat. Tell me, what is your predictions for this match? Currently poised in the second set, 2 games all. And yes, it is a lovely rainy day here in Cape Town. Difficult conditions to drive in. At some stages, the rain was so heavy that it was quite difficult to see on the roads. But I like this weather. I like sleeping in the rain. It's quite soothing. As Shapo is now serving at 2 games all. And Medvedev standing very, very far back in the behind the baseline. Medvedev now with a backhand, which goes in, just in. Medvedev now with a backhand. Oh, it's so loopy. It's extremely loopy. It's like primary school tennis, but effective. All right, but there, Shapo, it's at long, and it's point to Medvedev, love 15. And it's so frustrating when you play against those, like, moonball types of when it just goes so high in the sky and I don't really know what to do about it. Because, I mean, as long as it's deep, it is effective. Shapo now serving to the backhand of Medvedev, but it's a fault. Second serve. Second serve to the backhand of Medvedev. And that return goes long by Medvedev, and it's 15 all. Gene saying, I'm happy Shapo is making this match close considering the poor form he has been in. Yeah, it's the form was just shocking since that victory he got against Nadal. Then it was just loss. So for the tournament, I mean, beating Dimitrov is a very, very good result. I did not see that coming in my predictions for the Fantasy League. And then he followed up with a victory against Tommy Paul, but someone has alluded to in the chat earlier that it was quite lucky. his victory that he was able to pull off against Tommy Paul. This match so far looking good. Looking good as he's now approaching the net and he puts away the volley. There, Shapovalov, and it's 30-15. We've seen a lot of approaches by Shapovalov this match to the net, which I think is a good pattern of play on this fast court and also his aggressive style. It's just that a lot of the times the volley was not executed very well. A lot of the volleys, especially, we've seen a lot of volleys go long, thereby maybe suggesting that his hands aren't soft enough. Oh, that's a beautiful passing shot there by Medvedev. That was just lovely. That's going to be on tennis TV, bro. It was a good volley there by Shapo, but Medvedev ran. And then with his forehand, he went for a cross-court passing shot. Oh, it's like a banana almost. Like, was that Nadal? I thought he's out of the tournament. That was just beautiful there by Medvedev. And it's 30-all. And it's such a pity that a beautiful point like that only counts 1 point. That's ridiculous. We should have judges that will then state for each point how many points it should count. No, we shouldn't. All right, and there Medvedev hits the ball in the net, though. And it's 40-30 for Shapo. Shapo serving. And we can see he went to the net 26 times already. Shapovalov, of which I think 16 was resulted in him winning the point. Can't really see, the font is quite small. As Shapo serves to the backhand of Medvedev, whose return is long, and that means Shapovalov holds and is very much still within this match. He leads the third set, still on serve, 3-2. All right. And Gene saying, not surprised that Rafa lost. Manchorik played really well, saw the highlights. Yeah, I didn't follow the match live either. It was like during the midnight hours for South Africans. I saw the highlights and it looked like Chorich played really well, but it is always difficult to assess with highlights packages how the play really was because you only see, well, the highlights. So you don't see like poor executions of shots or stuff like that in the highlights reel. But apparently Chorich did play very well, and I don't think it's too big of a concern for Rafa fans or Rafa himself. I mean, it's his first match back since his abdominal injury, and the courts are way too fast for his liking, I would say. We've seen him not performing well on courts like this, like Cincinnati and Shanghai. He would prefer slower courts, and US Open is a bit slower. So I don't think it's too big of a concern for Nadal. Keys breaks. Iga serve and Keys leads 4-3. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Iga really, I think, struggling with some form since her Wimbledon loss. It's interesting to see how, after dominating for so long in the beginning of the year, how one loss at the Wimbledon can lead to her like just collapsing in confidence. It's what I seem to analyze on what's happening. Or do you think, in the chat, tell me, was it just a case of her preferring clay, that it suits a game so well that now suddenly when it's not on clay, she's just back to being not that dominant? I don't know. Medvedev will be serving. It's 2 games Medvedev, 3 games Shapovalov in this second set at Cincinnati. As Medvedev is serving to the forehand of Shapovalov, Medvedev stepping in with the backhand, which goes nice and deep. Medvedev now with a big forehand. Is the forehand in by Medvedev? No, it wasn't. It was just long, overcooked, and it's love 15 opportunity here for Denis Shapovalov. Medvedev serves as a very good serve, but it's all a very good return there by Shapo. But Shapo ball that he goes long and he shouts in frustration as he knows that was a big opportunity to do something after that very good return by him. And it's 15-all. Medvedev serving. It's a fault. Second serve. And he serves to the backhand of Medvedev. No, Shapo, obviously. Medvedev now at the net. Will he put it away? Shapo is there, though. Oh, and he's just not able to get the ball back. Shapovalov and his point to Medvedev. Medvedev had all the time in the world to wind up shot at the net, but he went for exactly where Shapo stood. And Shapo was just not able to get that ball and time it correctly on the racket. It's sort of like he ran too far passed the ball in that occasion. Medvedev, good serve there, and Medvedev puts that away for a winner. It was just in, I must say, and it's 40-15 for Medvedev. Gene saying, I think the players have figured it out. That, and yeah, I agree that Wimbledon lost broke her mentally, even though it was on her, I assume. Her worst surface. So I wouldn't say she prefers clay, but that invincibility aura is temporarily gone. Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting to see how quickly that confidence can be broken with just a few losses. Three games all, Medvedev is able to hold. Are we going the distance? My prediction, I think Shapovalov will win this set, like something like in the lines of 7-5 or 7-6. And then we're going to a third that will end 6-4 for Medvedev. There's a big serve there by Shapo. It's an ace, in fact. And it's 15-love. Shapo serves to the backhand of Medvedev. He tried to go for the ace in V, but it's a fault. Shapo serves to the backhand of Medvedev. And now Shapo with a big forehand again to the backhand of Medvedev. It was just too big from Shapo. Medvedev not able to get that ball back. And it's 3-love. Shapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev. And it just goes over the net, but Shapo is at the net and it puts that ball away. And it's 40-love. And they've shown a stat now on screen with like how many meters beyond the baseline they are standing. But I didn't catch it in time. But something like 2 meters for Medvedev. 40-love, Shapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev, who's not able to get that ball back into play. And it's a very, very comfortable hold by Shapovalov. In fact, it is a game to love. So Shapovalov looking much more comfortable on his serve in this set. Can he turn this match around? The Canadian single lefty. And when I say single, I'm obviously referring to his backhand and not to his relationship status. As far as I know, he is, in fact, in a relationship. Jared saying, do you think with no Zverev or Novak, Nadal possibly not in peak condition and Medvedev spotty here, we could get a strange US Open winner, like a booster or a Hurkacz? That's an interesting observation. I would say definitely, because I feel in general anyway, if there's one Grand Slam where you can get that odd winner, it is the US Open. You know, with Australian Open, you always have Djokovic dominating. With the French Open, you obviously have Rafa always dominating. With Wimbledon, you always have Djokovic or Roger dominating. But the US Open is always that one where you could get a once-off winner, you know, like your Dominic Thiem. Okay, in that case, it was just maybe just because of lack of participation by others or defaults. Or like, for example, Stan Wawrinka, who won the US Open, Del Potro, who won the US Open. So, yeah, I could actually see that happening. I really could. Will it be like a Carreno booster? Well, we still have talented other young players that could make it, you know, like a... That's so difficult to call because Berrettini is in horrible form. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have said he's a very big favorite for US Open, but now it seems like that's not going to happen. But you have talented players like your Sinners, your Alcarazes, your Ogier Aliassims, your Taylor Fritz. I think Taylor Fritz has been in the best form of all the players recently. So, I mean, you never know. Taylor Fritz, could he be up for it? But then the next question is also like, what do we consider a strange winner? Would it be strange if we have like an Alcaraz or a Sinner? And I would say the answer is no, because they're going to win plenty of Grand Slams. But would it be strange if Busta wins? I would say yes, because we all agree that would probably be his only Grand Slam. Right. So strange We'll have to take people that we know will probably not win another Grand Slam thereafter. And I think Hurkacz will be able to maybe win a Grand Slam thereafter. So for me, Busta would be stranger than Hurkacz. But yeah, strange like a Carreno Busta or a Batista Agut or something like that. Like also a player that's not really young and up and coming. They've been there for a while. And then suddenly with a nice draw and just playing solid tennis. Like not magnificent maybe, but just solid. Maybe that's good enough this year. You never know. Maybe like a Gael Monfils. Never know. Oh, Sean saying the most US Open in ages. I agree with that. And Jared also agrees. Jean saying, I also forgot to mention that Iga did mention in her press conference yesterday that she doesn't like the lighter US Open balls that the WTA Tour use. Interesting. And I also saw by Gil Gross on Twitter that I think they use the same balls for the women that they use at the US Open. I think so, right? Am I correct in saying that? Or something about the balls, or no, he said something about the balls of the US Open that changed recently, or like the men and the women don't use the same balls, or they now do. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Jean saying she prefers the heavier balls. Sean saying, yeah, strange would be Andy Murray winning. I saw actually a tweet today where there was like a poll, where it's like, which one is most likely? Andy Murray winning a Grand Slam, or what was the other option? I can't remember. I can't remember now. Tell me in the chat if you saw that tweet. But it was like tweet, which one is more likely? Andy Murray to win another Grand Slam, or, and then it was something else, which was also extremely unlikely. Oh, that's a beautiful passing shot there by Medvedev. That was beautifully timed. Shapo approached the net and Medvedev was able to pass there. And it's 4-all, and now love 15 on the serve of Shapovalov. I think it was a good approach there by Shapo, but the passing shot of Medvedev was just too good. No, Gene saying that a veteran that wins the US Open will be more surprising than a young winner. I agree with that. Love 15, Shapo serving to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo now stepping in with a big forehand to the forehand once again of Medvedev. Shapo in control of this rally. Oh, that's a big forehand down the line there by Shapo. Medvedev's able to get that back, but the lob by Medvedev goes long, and it's 15-all. Jared saying that Murray blew it at Wimbledon. That was his best chance at making a deep run. He looked really good during the grass court season leading up. Yeah, he did. We had that one tournament. What was it? The Boss Open? Can't remember now exactly where he did so well. At Wimbledon, who did he lose against finally? I can't remember. It's now like not in my memory. I can't remember against who we lost at Wimbledon. Let me think about it for a while. Like, I don't say in the chat. I want to guess, or I want to remember. Oh, and Shapo tries to go for the SNV unsuccessfully, and it's 30-all. Gene already now said he lost to Islam. Oh yeah, I remember now. And it was odd for me because he's usually so good against big servers. So that was a bit odd. Jing Singer, for example, Chilik that won the US Open, he was just a machine. That wasn't due to anybody else playing poorly. I mean, there was nothing that Federer could do against him in the semifinal. That was just like some of the best tennis that I've ever seen. So that was a well-deserved victory there by Chilik. It was not like due to an easy draw or other players fumbling. Now, I mean, it would have been interesting if Djokovic was able to beat Nishikori in the semifinal. It would have been interesting to see whether Chilik would have been able to get past Djokovic in the final. But I mean, the way he was playing against Federer in the semifinal, I would say yes. And Gene saying the Keys won the first set, all right, against Iga, 6-3. And Iga had chances to break, but wasted her chances. There's a big forehand there by Shapo, but it went wide. And we're on deuce. Ooh, okay, 4-all deuce, which means that Medvedev is 2 points away from serving for the match. And that's the beauty of tennis. You never know like how long the match is still going to be. It could be over in 10 minutes or it could still be 2 hours. You never know. Shapo serving at deuce to the backhand of Medvedev is a good serve. Shapo with a big forehand. Eclipse the net though. Medvedev now with a forehand to the forehand of Shapo. Almost overcooks but doesn't. Shapo now is going to go for the backhand down the line. Medvedev is in control of this rally. Shapo with a backhand to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo with the forehand again to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo now with a backhand cross-court to the forehand of Medvedev. Both playing it quite safely. Shapo now goes for the big forehand down the line. And now Shapo with a big forehand again. Medvedev now, although with a backhand. Medvedev with a forehand to the forehand of Shapo. What a rally. Shapo now with a forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo stepping in, but the forehand of Shapo is in the net. What a rally it is with Shapo making the error with a big forehand in the net, and that means that it's a break points opportunity for Medvedev after that long rally. Medvedev 1 point away from serving for this match. Can he convert this break points? Hi, King and Just. Nice to have you in the chat. Medvedev, I think he might be able to finish him right here, right now. Let's see. Shapo serving. And Medvedev is standing 455 miles behind the baseline. Shapo is serving a fault. Second serve. And I guarantee you Shapo is now going to serve to the backhand. And he does. Backhand to Medvedev. And the return by Medvedev goes in the net. And it is deuce. Every time I've seen now, when it's second serve, Shapo goes to the backhand to Medvedev. Jared saying Monfils and Dimitrov should have won a major with a talent level. Kafan, Ishigori, Busta, and Akut are talent maximizers. I agree 100% with that statement. Shapo serving to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo now stepping in. Oh, that's poor execution by Shapo. Very poor. He was like at the net in the service box and he hit that forehand in the net. I mean, Medvedev didn't really do anything special there, but it's another break opportunity for Daniil Medvedev. Sean asking, who is Shapo's coach these days? And Jared confirming that it's the Canadian legend Peter Polansky. Shapo now serving to the forehand of Medvedev. It's a nice and deep return there by Medvedev. Medvedev now to the forehand of Shapo. Medvedev now with the backhand to the forehand of Shapo, who goes to the forehand of Medvedev. Shapo now with a big forehand to the forehand of Medvedev. Medvedev just defending. Oh, and that's too big by Shapo. That's too big, is what she said. And it's now deuce. And 4 games all deuce. Shapo's saving 2 break points there with some big hitting. Can Shapo survive this service game? If you're enjoying this coverage with me, consider hitting the like button on this video as we get to the business end of this set. Shapo serving at deuce. And he serves to the forehand of Medvedev, but it's a fault. Second serve. All right, let's see. Shapo now serving. And Shapo overcooks it. Shapo overcooks it. Just like when I'm frying chicken, I always overcook it. And it's advantage Medvedev. And it's another break point opportunity here for Daniil Medvedev. Break points number 3 opportunity. Shapo serving to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo stepping in as a forehand down the line. That's very well done by Shapo. And he smashes that away for the winner. Very, very good play there by SHAPOVALOV. And he saves another break points opportunity. And we're back to deuce. Medvedev did well to get to that ball with Shapo going down the line. But Shapo was then at the net to put that away. Smash winner. And we're back to deuce. And as Gene alludes to, if Shapo can hold, who knows what might happen. That's the beauty of tennis. It's not a time game where you can try and beat the clock. No. This can be over within 10 minutes, or we could still be here for another hour and a half. You never know. Shapo serving at deuce. Fault, second serve. We are at 56 likes. Let's see whether we can get to 60 likes. 4 more likes to get there. Come on, hit that like button on this video. As Shapo serves a double fault. It's a double fault, and it's another break opportunity here for Medvedev. Can he capitalize on the 4th opportunity that will he have on his disposal? At his disposal, rather. Break points opportunity number 4. Shapo serves to the backhand of Medvedev, who is not able to return that. And we're back to deuce. We are back to deuce. And this game duration is now already 8 minutes. And Bull saying that Shapo won't be doing too many long rallies against Medvedev. Yeah, he approached the net quite often, not always very successful. But hey, I guess that's better than trying to out-rally Medvedev. As Shapo is now serving at deuce, second serve to the... that's a good body serve there. And now Medvedev with a backhand to the forehand of SHAPOVALOV. Now forehand of Medvedev, which goes very, very high in the air. And now just hitting in the middle of the court as if they are warming up for something. And now Shapo with a backhand to the forehand of Medvedev, just hitting in the middle of the court. Nobody taking any big risk. Who's going to go for the first risky shot? Nobody at this stage. They're just warming up. Oh, there we have a big forehand there by Shapo, and he's rewarded for taking the initiative there. And it's advantage SHAPOVALOV, and is he able to hold here, as John alluded to earlier, we could still be here for a while. We could still be here for a while. Let's see. Did we get that 4 likes that we need to get to 60? I need to refresh the page over here to see. Shapo, advantage, serving. He serves to the backhand of Medvedev. Shapo now with the forehand to forehand of Medvedev. Medvedev hits it in the net. Shapo holds, and all those break points opportunities by Medvedev that don't matter anymore. And that's the beauty of tennis, how the scoring system works. It's now a clean slate, 5 games to 4. It's as good as he held to love, with the game duration of 9 minutes, and he leads in this second set. Can Shapo take this set and force it to a third set? Well done there, Shapo, showing some grit and saving a few break points. What a game. What a game that was by Denis SHAPOVALOV. A lot of opportunities there for Medvedev, but he doesn't convert any of those breakpoints. If you look at breakpoints, percentage converted by Medvedev is now only 17%. He converted 2 out of 12 breakpoints. That's not good. So from a Medvedev perspective, that is not nice to see. Only converting 2 out of 12 breakpoints. That's just simply not good enough. And it would be interesting to see how many of those opportunities were on second serves, where we didn't convert on any of them. All right, we are on 57 likes. We got 1 more like. Brilliant stuff. Yeah. Let's see whether we can get 3 more likes. Well, the ratio isn't bad considering we are only 56 online. But it would be great if we can get to that 60 mark. I'm looking at you, those 3 people that haven't hit the like button yet. Come on, let's get to 60. And we don't know how long we're going to be here for still. It could be 10 minutes, could be 2 hours. Probably not 10 minutes. Iga is stealing viewers. How unsettling. Tell them that Roger Federer just came back and he's playing on this court against Medvedev. Shapo retired and Roger Federer came, and to everybody's surprise, and it's just going viral. And they should see what's happening here. It's insane. You wouldn't believe it. Oh, what a backhand by Roger Federer there. Like the good old days. Is that misinformation? Probably. Love 15. Shapo, only a few points away from taking the set. Medvedev serving. And it's a shank return there by Shapo, and it's 15 all. It's an ace. It's an ace by Medvedev. He's 5th for the day. Or he's 4th, I'm not sure. And it's 30-15. I don't know where I went for a while. My aliens contacted me there for a second. Medvedev stepping in with a forehand down the line winner. Well, Chapo is able to hit that ball in the air. And that's an easy put away there by Medvedev at the net. And it is 5 games all. Very comfortable hold there by Medvedev compared to the hold of Chapo earlier. And it's 5 games all. Sean saying with the misinformation, that's YouTube in a nutshell. Yeah, getting the hang of it. 5 games all. Chapo serving. And it's love 15 for Medvedev. Can he try and create an opportunity of this again, as he did in the previous service game of Chapo? And now to the backhand of Medvedev, standing very far behind the baseline, but the return by Medvedev is not in, and Medvedev shows some frustration. 15 all. Yep, doesn't seem like the message is getting across in the other chat about Federer having miraculously turned up here. Jared saying, for some reason that reminded me of the time when Nadal was questioned by a reporter at Wimbledon if Barty should have replaced him on center court. Like, how do you respond to that? It is awkward. It's the same, like, did you see the line of questioning where, like, they asked Emma, like, respecting her elders or something like that, and it was a bit awkward. 30 all. Serves to Medvedev's forehand. Chapo now again to the forehand of Medvedev. It goes to the line. And Medvedev in control of this rally. In fact, Chapo hits that long, and it's another breakpoint opportunity. As another breakpoint opportunity for Shapovalov, as he had plenty of them in the previous service game. Can he convert this one finally and serve for the match? Let's see. Chapo serving at 30-40. To the backhand of Medvedev. It's a good return there by Medvedev. Chapo now with a forehand to the forehand of Medvedev down the line. Chapo with a forehand to the backhand of Medvedev. And now Chapo running around to his forehand. And it goes wide. It goes wide by Chapo. Medvedev breaks. Medvedev breaks. Chapo is frustrated, but Medvedev is able to break, and that means that he will be serving for this match. Oh, wow. Finally, he had plenty of opportunities in the previous game, but he finally breaks. And it looks like it could be a straight sets easy affair for the world number 1, Daniil Medvedev. All right, Medvedev will be serving for this set. And I think he will be relieved because for a moment, it looked like this could go to a tiebreaker and then you never know what's going to happen. And then if you're forced to a third set, this match could get extremely long. And at this stage, it's not only about winning. You also want to win comfortably for that confidence and also to reserve your body in the next round, as that will be against Taylor Fritz, who we know is in extremely good form and will be looking to inflict some damage on the winner of this match. Sean saying that I feel bad for the next gen. Every interview they ask them how good the big three are, as if it doesn't keep them up at night with frustration. Yeah, that's true. And it's also like a bit ridiculous, like asking Federer and Rafa like every time about how they respect each other, and Djokovic as well. Like, why is it about them that you respect and like comment on your rivalry with them? I mean, how many times have they done it now? Like, Why would you ask a question like that? Just Google it. They've said it 458 times. You get this one opportunity to ask them a question, and then you ask them, tell us about your rivalry. I mean, really? As Medvedev is now serving, and it's a poor shot there by SHAPOVALOV, 15 love, and only 3 points away from clinching this match. $15 it's a good return there by Shapo, but it's well executed there by Medvedev at the net, and it's 30 love. 30 love. Medvedev serving to the backhand of Shapo. It's not returned. It's 40 love, and you know what this means? It's 3 match points opportunities for Daniil Medvedev. Where is the button? There we go.
Match point.
Second serve by Daniil Medvedev at 40 love to the backhand of Shapo, who is it in the net? It's in the net by SHAPOVALOV, and that means that is victory for the world number 1. Daniil Medvedev clinches it at the end. 2 long sets, 7-5, 7-5. Your winner, the world number 1, Daniil Medvedev, takes out the Canadian Denis SHAPOVALOV. Straight sets in the end. Well, it's straight sets, but both of those sets were tight. Both of those sets were very tight, and he goes into the next round of Cincinnati, and he would really want to go deep, even maybe win this tournament, as he really needs that confidence boost for the US Open. He will be taking on Taylor Fritz in the next round. Tell me in the chat, what is your predictions for that next match against Taylor Fritz, who is in such good form? Oh, what a brilliant display there by Medvedev in the end. And I feel for Shapo, it was close in each set, but then got broken at the stages where it mattered the most. In the end, Daniil Medvedev takes this away. Well done to him. All right, thank you very much for everybody that joined me. If not yet, please consider hitting a like button on this video and let us enjoy some other coverage of Cincinnati coming your way by Game to Love. I'll see you again next time in a future stream. Until then, thank you very much. See you on the flip side.